Welcome to Slasher Sunday. So this is probably going to be uploaded before Sunday. Actually, quite a bit after Sunday, technically, because I watched this on Saturday in preparation, and then I got a surprise hotel room from a client of mine for a couple days, and then I spent the night at my dad's house for a little bit, and with my kids, because blah blah blah. It doesn't really matter, but this was supposed to be up days ago, and I'm bummed that I didn't get it up, but I don't think you guys honestly really care what day it goes up. I mean, yeah, I'm sure you would have rather it been up days ago, but let's say I put it up early, I don't think almost anyone's going to cry about it. So, anyway, Slasher Sunday. Let's finish up the Slumber Party Massacre trilogy with Slumber Party Massacre 3, or even have this with part 3 as well. But I watched, of course, the Blu-ray version, which had a bunch of like added little scenes in it that looked like shit. Can they not clean up those extra little scenes? Are those not clean upable? I don't know how that works, but I don't know why some of those scenes look so bad. It's like you couldn't clean those up at all. Like I could understand some drop in quality, but did they like get the footage like last minute? And they're like, just insert it, fuck it. But they would have had to put a score to it, and I don't know, whatever. Doesn't matter. This movie delivers on what it's trying to deliver on, which is babes in bikinis showing their tits, and you have a staple of this franchise, and what that is girls during a slumber party dancing and getting topless, and then the guys who are not supposed to be there show up and walk in on them or look at them while they're doing their striptease dance. This happens in all of them. So this is just kind of a staple. This one did not have the "we're in heaven" line, but regardless, it is here. So that is the one constant for sure. That, and of course, there being a driller killer. Now, on the back of the cover for part 3, which I've seen, I don't know where, but there's one on the back of a DVD or something where it shows the killer plain as day. It shows who the killer is with the drill. Although I guess technically people could see that and think like, well, maybe he's just trying to defend himself, but he clearly looks like the killer in it. So let's see if that picture is in here anywhere, because I swear it was featured on a VHS copy, but I guess not, which is a shame. But this is kind of a whodunit, and then who it ends up being, I guess this guy's uncle was like raping him, which we make a lot of like uncle rape jokes these days. If you're an uncle fucker like this guy was, I guess you're gonna shut your fucking face, uncle fucker. I can't find the picture. I swear there's a picture of him though. He's like got it in the air and he's like, ah, and you can see that it's clearly this guy. But anyway, all right. This movie was not very good. This was definitely the worst of the 3 for me, easily. And part 2 is by far the best. I know a lot of people seem to think 2 is terrible, but I love 2, as you guys all know. That's why I did it first. I did it out of order because that was the one I wanted to do. I'm such a big fan of that film that when it came time to do a Slasher Sunday, I was like, I don't really feel like doing the first one. Like, I just want to do the second one. Eventually, I knew I had to do these 2, but this one, like, it's definitely 2, 1, 3 in the order of how the quality goes for these. And there's a decent amount of distance between each. Like 2 is far superior to 1, and 1 is pretty damn superior to 3. 3 is not very good. The only thing really you get out of 3 is some hot babes and their tits. Like, the kills are pretty much all lame. The characters are pretty much all lame. The dialogue is pretty much all lame. The music is pretty much all lame. Like, this is not a good movie. Like, this is a rough one. The editing in this, everything, all the technical aspects, everything. What do you expect from a film like this? But there's like a scene where it's clearly one of these chicks is going off to talk to who ends up being the killer, and she like is playing volleyball with her friends. She's like, go ahead without me, guys. I gotta have a conversation here. I want to fuck this guy, right? And so it cuts over to them playing, and she's playing. Like it's clear as day. Like she's standing and she's playing with them, but she's also over talking to this guy. So she's like, you know, what is she? Quicksilver? Is she the Flash? Like how is she moving back and forth so fast? But she's supposed to be over there talking to this guy. But when they show the volleyball game again, it's clearly her. But this is definitely the volleyball game that's supposed to be taking place during her conversation over there with the guy. So it's just like, what? And then they have a couple red herrings in this. One, of course, being the creepy guy who comes over and sits and watches them, who he ends up actually, I don't know, like he's creepy, I guess. He comes back to return this girl's journal or something, and then he's like breaks into the house, though he's like is a creep, so they have like two possible killers. What was that guy gonna do? I don't know. Anyway. And then, oh man, they have that really bad guitar soloing going on during the kill scenes. I fucking hate that in movies. It's just that like bad 80s guitar. Can't, oh, that's the worst music you can possibly put in a slasher movie for me. Is that really terrible guitar solo music. So they're driving back from the beach, and the girls are sitting up on the back of this guy's convertible, like three chicks. Now, this is back in the 80s when no one gave a shit about your safety. You know, cops are going to pull you over, nothing. Like, no kids have seatbelts on. They're fucking running around in the back of vans and trucks, and nobody cared about nothing. But there is a sequence here where the guy's driving and they're going down the highway, and it's clearly the actresses sitting on the back of the car, and he takes a pretty hard turn into the next lane, and they all kind of shift to one side. That was dangerous, man. That dude could have thrown. They're all supposed to be laughing, and they were kind of like, ha, ha, and the guy's like laughing, and I'm like, this guy's a sadistic motherfucker. He could have thrown their asses right onto the street. Like that was, yeah, that was not planned. Like, from what I could tell, that those chicks were seriously compromised in that moment. It really looked like they could have died there. So that was kind of freaky when I saw it. I was like, what is this guy doing? And then he stays around and look around himself. Oh, okay. So forgot about this. I watched this like 4 or 5 days ago now. So anyway, so this girl comes home. This is where they throw the party. And this like neighbor dude that lives across the street is just in her house, and he's being as creepy as humanly possible. This is red herring number 2. And he like keeps insisting to leave. He's like, oh, I'll just come back when your parents are. And she just keeps pushing like, no, it's okay. Go ahead. You can just look around the house by yourself. Go ahead, show yourself around. What the fuck? This is the weirdest sequence. I've never seen a sequence like this, where there's this creepy, weird guy in her house, in somebody's house, and she's like insisting he stays as he's trying to force himself to leave. But he's clearly being creepier and weirder, and she's getting creeped out more and more by this guy, but then insists because she's trying to be a good citizen, because she's trying to be a nice girl. Like, whatever it is, it makes no sense. Any chick would be like, yeah, that's fine. You can just come back when my parents are. But then when he comes back later, she's like, you can just fucking, like, you know, basically fuck off. Like, he calls or something. And she's just like, yeah, wait for my parents or some shit. Yeah, he calls, and she answers the phone. And he's like, can I come over to see the house? And she's like, no, it'd be better if you waited for my parents, something along those lines. Like, where was this attitude earlier in the movie when he was like trying to bail and you wouldn't let him? That was so weird. And that guy was a fucking freak. And who the hell comes across the street to look at buying a new house? You're just gonna move across the street? Do you own the house across the street? Because that's just fucking weird too. And then of course we find out that he's a voyeur, and he's, you know, spying on them, which kind of turns into a rear window situation. Now, the girls in this movie... Now, okay, this is something, unless, of course, these are homosexual men, but this is a huge disconnect between men and women. Now, I don't know how many women do this, but I know that some have, and of course they do in this film. But they're like encouraging their friends through a truth and dare scenario. The dare of do a strip tease for us and mean it and take your clothes off. Do you imagine going to a group party of guys, just a bunch of dudes hanging out, having their own version of a slumber party, and they were playing truth or dare? Why would guys ever play truth or dare together? They would just never do that. Like, I guess maybe they would, just to like do truth or dare for guys would just play dare. Guys would have fuck truth. It's like, let's just dare each other to do stupid shit. They wouldn't even play a game though. It'd just be a fucking night of them going, oh, bash your head into this, break that, whatever. But imagine going to a guy party, just a bunch of guys, straight guys, and then one of them daring the other one to do a striptease for them. And then two of them start doing it, and the guys are sitting there screaming, "Yeah, baby, take it off!" And like they're going, taking their fucking pants down, starting to take their underwear off. They're like, "Yeah," and the girls are screaming, like, "Yeah, take it off." I mean, don't get me wrong. I find the scene very attractive and hot and whatever. It's like, I'm fine with it. But it's just funny. There's a huge disconnect between women and men. Like, no way this would happen. Just no way. You ever been to if you've been to a party like that with guys, they're homosexuals or bisexual or whatever. Guys just wouldn't do this. It just wouldn't do it. And if they did do it, like they dared their friend to do a striptease, they'd be fucking mocking and laughing at them the whole time. It would be like taking advantage of your drunk friend to catch him on camera to like exploit him later. It would never be like, "Yeah, bro, take that off. Let me see that cock." Just would not happen. Just would not happen. So it's just funny to me that in like all of these, that they're doing this and like taking each other's clothes off and strip teases in front of each other. They're encouraging each other to get naked in front of one another. Yeah. Anyway, I just thought that was really, really funny. It happens in all of these as well. And the one girl with like the red hair, I want to say, who was talking about dating the 50-year-old, I want to say is how old he is, and she's like early 20s, and her friend kind of gives her shit for a second. She's one of the girls that does the striptease. Now the other girl, I think she's blonde. She has amazing tits, great body, fucking beautiful girl. And this other girl is kind of an odd, interesting, unique looking girl. But she has these like really bright red, like pepperoni nipples. Like that almost seems like I'm mocking her. I was more just kind of like looking at it more curious. I've never seen any nipples like this in my life. They look like there was a surgery on them or something, and they like, I don't know. They don't look, I've never seen nipples like this before. These things were like bright red, big, and they looked like they were sewn on or something. They didn't look natural. So I don't know what that was. Maybe that was an old boob job, but those boobs weren't that big, so she didn't get them puffed up very much. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It was really this. Even if I could show clips on here, that's not something I could show. Then the dorky guy shows up, who was out there playing volleyball with him, and I guess this guy thinks he has a shot at banging one of these girls once. I don't know what his aim in this game is, but bro, you don't have a chance. It's time to just give it up. But he goes and he buys the t-shirt and the pizzas from the pizza delivery girl, which he's the one worried that she's going to see him topless and him without clothes on. And she was like, "I don't give a fuck. You can look at me." Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'd be the other way around. I mean, this wasn't the most attractive girl, but this guy, shit, he'd fucking jerk it or fucking stick it in anything. Maybe that's not true. Maybe this guy has super high standards and, whatever. But I just don't buy it. And then, so I don't know how much the pizza cost, but she had to compensate for the shirt she was going to have to replace at work and the pizzas plus the tip. Although this is the 80s, so that probably all amounted to like $15. So she gained like what, $31? So, or 20, yeah, $31. Yeah. Did I say 15? I said 15. Okay. 31. Yeah, I'm accurate. Okay, moving on. But Just I love, oh god, and then we cut to this next scene where a guy's like in a living room and he's eating pizza because the guys show up and of course screw up that dorky dude's chance, although he had zero chance anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But anyways, these guys show up and they're eating pizza and this like these are supposed to be at least late teens, right? Early 20s, something around that area. Um, this guy just drops a piece of pizza face down on the carpet, and then he just throws his arms up and he's like, oh no, these scenes are so bizarre to me. Like, was that a director's note? Like, was the director like, okay, now you've dropped the pizza. Okay, now you're confused. Now you're ashamed. Now you're upset. Now put your arms in the air. Now act, baffled. Now, like, any fucking adult. Now, a child, not even my kids would immediately pick it up. But, like, if you were to take really, really small kids, like 2, 3 years old, somewhere in that fucking area, you would be like, okay, they might drop pizza and just stare at it and be like, oh my God, Ma, I don't know what to do. And just be like, pick it up. My kids instantly pick it up. Of course, they're 7. They're fucking not, little babies anymore. This guy just is like, I don't know what to do. It's not like he doesn't give a shit. It's not like he drops it and he's like, nah, fuck this place. He's like, I don't give a shit. I'll stomp it. He's going to put his fucking, fuck your couch. Nothing like that. Like, this is very much like he doesn't know what to do. He's befuddled. He's like, oh my God. What? Pick it up. And it's got cheese on it, whatever, and it looks, kind of hard. And it doesn't look like it's that messy. And then she's trying to clean the carpet, and the stain is like this big. She's like rubbing her, I don't know what to do, guys. And then she's like, well, let's just go use bleach. Let's just go use bleach on it. She's like, well, what's the worst that could happen? You're just going to pour bleach on your carpet? What? Unless this carpet is white, and I mean white. You're not going to pour bleach on your carpet. I wouldn't recommend pouring bleach on your carpet, period. That's just not going to happen. But what the fuck? Let's just grab bleach. How old are these people supposed to be? Who writes this shit? Like, how do the actors not go, dude, I'd pick up the piece of pizza? Like, I'm not going to do that. Anybody my age is going to pick up the pizza. Anybody my age is going to know how to clean up a spot on the carpet. Maybe I can't get it out, but I'm not going to spread it out to this fucking big. Like, it's just not going to happen. I don't care how dumb these people are. Okay, maybe they're, the redhead with the sausage nipples who dates 50-year-olds. She seemed pretty moronic, but the girl that's doing it, I don't know. Just doesn't buy it. I just don't buy it. Then you got death by a vibrator, and this guy sticks an electronic vibrator. Jesus Christ, dude, you need an industrial strength vibrator back in the day with the plug into the wall so you could get that extra like vibration. Tear up your insides. And then he just cuts that guy's legs off after we reveal who the killer is. He just cuts the guy's legs off with a chainsaw and just fucking leaves him there. That's just brutal, man. Absolutely so mean-spirited. I was laughing. That was probably my favorite thing in the whole movie. And then God, the whole uncle thing, and then the guy has a knife in his hand, and he goes and he runs over to the guy, the killer, right? So the guy, one of the protagonists has a knife in his hand, and he goes and he runs and he tackles the guy from behind, and then they fight for it. And I think that's what leads to the chainsaw thing. But you have a knife. It might have not been the chainsaw one. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. But he has a knife, and he runs up behind him, and he tackles him with a knife in his hand. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say about something like that. They hit him over the head in this movie 3 times. Knock him to the ground where he's basically unconscious for moments. Nobody grabs his weapon. Nobody stomps on him. No one tries to restrain him. Nobody curb stomps him. Like, once, maybe. 3 times. 3. Maybe even more, man. I stopped counting after 3. Then we get the closet Halloween homage, where he's breaking through the closet. Very, very, very Halloween. Definitely on purpose. And then there's and then there's a chick who just yells "fuck you" and then just runs herself through a plate glass window, like sliding glass door, and then I guess she's dead. What? That was hilarious. And then they throw bleach in his eyes, and then he turns into Michael from Halloween 2, and he just starts swiping. He like doesn't know, not like on Tinder, like his knife. And yeah, I mean he's the driller killer in this, so he's carrying around a drill. I think he has the drill in that moment. Yeah, I think he's swinging a drill at that point. This movie's very, very phallic with his symbolisms and such. A guy drilling a bunch of young girls. Yeah, it's not subtle at all. And okay, so then the sausage nipple chick is, if I remember correctly, she's laying on the fucking ground, and this guy has a drill, and he's about to put it into her, and she's just laying there. Please don't, please don't. And then she starts to like beg him, and she's like, "You can fuck me and do whatever you want." And like he stows to like get on top of her and everything. She just keeps laying there, just keeps laying there. He has the drill so far away from her, she could have rolled out of the way, ran away, anything she wanted. But she just keeps screaming, "No, don't do it, don't do it." The thing is so far. Like, those scenes are ridiculous. Those scenes are like very much why Austin Powers had that parody of that like street sweeper or fucking whatever the hell it is. He's like slowly coming at him. He's like, "No," and it goes on for like 5 minutes. That's the way that shit feels to me when I watch this. I'm just like, move. Although she has two big red targets for him to drill right into, which I actually think he does. No, I think he's right into the middle of her chest. Something. He's yeah. And I forgot. And the friends are sitting there watching that entire time, by the way. So this goes on for like 3 minutes straight, where she's like sitting there and she's begging and she's like letting him fuck her and all that stuff. Her friends are right there in the kitchen just staring. They don't run in to protect her. They don't help. They don't scream. They don't do anything. And then finally, once he kills her, they start screaming in the kitchen, and he looks over like, "All right, I'm coming for you." They weren't hiding. They were just watching that whole time. What the fuck? So annoying. Like, this is what I'm talking about. These actors and actresses, quote unquote, they didn't say to anybody like, "Hey, nobody would do this. Like, we'd help, or at least give us a reason why we're not helping." Like, something. But they're just standing there. I guess if you can look past it in martial arts movies when everybody just stands and waits in line instead of all attacking the one fighter by themselves. Like, there was like 50 fucking guys surrounding one dude. And it's like, let's all just come at him one at a time. And you can just see them in the background of any martial arts movie. They're just standing there like this. Like, they're moving around like they're supposed to be intimidating. But it's like, you're just standing there. If all of you bum rushed him, I don't care how fucking tough this guy is, you would destroy him. I don't care if it's the biggest, meanest dude on planet Earth, the guy who could fuck up everybody one-on-one, doesn't matter. No person could take on 50 guys. And especially if they're 50, like, trained martial artists, as they usually are in these movies. It's like, just bum rush them. I don't care if it's Jet Li. I don't care if it's Donnie Yen. I don't care if it's Jackie Chan. I don't care if it's... It doesn't matter. Rush him, it's over. Which is what they, of course, should be doing in these movies. But, you know, then what movie would we have? I just don't like the laziness of, "Oh, well, come on, it's just supposed to be dumb and fun." Like, no, come on, come up with better ideas. You can do better than that. It's not that difficult. And, I like how one of the girls, once they have him on the ground, she's like, "You don't kill somebody who's just laying there." You mean like he just did? Like 2 minutes ago? Pretty sure you kill people like that. Like, you have permission. When you watch a guy drill your fucking friend in front of you, and I don't mean sexually, you have permission from me, from everybody. If you get that guy on the ground, you kill him. Kill him. No fucking jury's going to prosecute you. They're going to be like, Oh wait, what happened? Oh, sorry, I must have dozed off during the case. Innocent. Like, there's just no way, man. No way. Yeah, we find out the uncle raped him, I guess, is what I can imply. Um, I honestly did kind of start to lose interest. So what the hell was up with the cops? And like the newspaper article of like the cop that was like killed or something. That play into this at all? Was that his uncle? Like, did I miss that? Like, what was I missing there? As I said, I started to drift towards the end. Not sleepy, just mentally. Like, I was like, this is so dumb. Like, this movie's dreadful and not a fun dreadful because the kills aren't great, the characters aren't great. I already went into all this. So, you got to have something that's keeping me there. The only thing that was keeping me there was just kind of pointing out stupid things, but not like in a fun way. It's fun now that I'm talking about it with you guys, but watching it was a chore. I like how they call the cops multiple times, and then finally they are like, "Oh, let's call the cops again." They have to listen to us this time. Before they were frantic. They had valid information. They presented their case the best they could, and the guy was like, "Nah, you're pranking. Whatever. Click." And then this time they're like, "Oh, this is the one for sure. They have to listen this time." Why do they have to listen to this time? Why? I get it, you're desperate, whatever, but why this time if they didn't listen the last two times? And then the other guy, like that whole thing with the cops is kind of pointless. Because the other guy's like, I'm going to go check on him. Fuck it. Like, I'm getting off work. I know, whatever. And he gets there as the credits roll. Like, I guess it's a subversion of expectations. You think he's going to come save the day and the girls save themselves. Hey, I'm all for that. That's cool. But I'm not really sure what the cops purpose was. Like, they could have just cut the phone lines and that would have been that. Like, we didn't even have to deal with the cops because I don't see what purpose they served in the movie outside of just kind of fulfilling that, question of, well, why didn't they call the police? He cut the phone lines and they couldn't get out of the house. The end. There was no cell phones. Pretty simple. So why put these guys in there? Although, but that's another thing in these movies. The second one for sure. The cops don't believe him. They think it's a prank. They won't come. Whatever. So that's consistent as well. Plus, I don't think this one has anything to do with the first two, unless I'm forgetting something. But I don't. Yeah, I don't think this is completely detached, devoid of the first one's narrative and the first and second one. Even though those don't really go together, they still played off of one another at least. Why people yell stop? I don't know why the hell I wrote that. And why do people? That's what it was. Like, when somebody has the killer on the ground, I guess this is just them not being able to handle it because they're rational, sane people, and maybe I'm a lunatic. But like, when somebody has the killer on the ground and they just start bashing them, this happens in Friday the 13th Part 4. This happens. There's so many titles you could just go through here, but they get the killer on the ground and then they just start hacking these fucking people to death, just drilling them, shooting them, whatever. And the people just start screaming, "Stop! No, no, Tommy!" Whatever. Why? Why? Let them grind them up into little bit. If they want to go on for an hour, cut off every single little piece of their body and then grind it into fucking like meal. I don't care. Get rid of this. This guy killed everybody. Like, why? I don't get this. Is this what people really do in real life? I'm sure it is. But why? As I said, I guess it's just rational, like, people that are like, you can't do this. This is madness. This is not you. Like, you're going to lose yourself. You're going to let the revenge and the madness take you, and you're never going to be right again. And this isn't you kind of thing. But I'm ever in this scenario, I'll be the one doing it, so this might be a little different. But if for some reason somebody else is the one doing it, and they just want to keep bashing on this guy, now I could understand that once the head's like gone, and once you've like caved the chest in, there's like zero chance. Then I'd just be like, dude, you got him. Like, you're wasting your time at this point. I mean, go for it if you want, but he's dead, like 100%. Unless this is like Victor Crawley or something, where he's just coming back at night every night, then you're fucked. But if that's just a human, you got him. Like, good job. Let's get to the police now. But wow, yeah, dumb movie. But there you go, Slumber Party Massacre 3. I had a fun time talking about it. At least a hell of a lot better than I had watching it. So, all right. Sorry this got out so late, but it is what it is. Adios.